Tom Cross here for MarineMax Wrightsville Beach. Stay tuned to WWAY for up-to-the-minute election coverage this evening. Brought to you by MarineMax of Wrightsville Beach, united by water.
Live, local, interactive. This is a special edition of WWAY News Channel 3 at 11. Your voice, your vote, 2016.
Now in the special election night edition of WWAY News, the votes have been cast. The results are still rolling in. We have the latest on the big local, state, and national races. Thanks for joining us on this election night. I'm Amanda Fitzpatrick.
And I'm Daniel Siemens. For the next 35 minutes, we will be commercial-free, bringing you all the results along with expert analysis. No matter how you sliced it, tonight was going to be a historic one in the race for the White House.
That's right, Daniel. America would either see its first female president with Hillary Clinton elected or one of the biggest Washington outsiders with Donald Trump. The race between them, of course, has been ugly and it's sometimes even uglier than anticipated, as the candidates have been deemed by political pundits as two of the most unpopular in presidential election history. Their histories and personal baggage creating a highly polarized electorate and a race where North Carolina became one of a handful of battleground states at the end. Now here in North Carolina, there are 15 electoral votes up for grabs. As you can see, 51% of those votes going to Donald Trump, 45% to Hillary Clinton, with 94% of the precincts reporting.
Let's take a look at the electoral map tonight. We'll check in with Hannah Patrick in just a minute, but first looking at the electoral map. Right now, as it stands, 150 to 109. You are looking at the current numbers. We will bring you new developments as they come in, and they will be coming in all night. Another hot race, who will lead our state? The governor's office in North Carolina also up for grabs tonight.
That's right, and all night. It's been a tremendously tight race as vote counts have come in. House Bill 2, a big issue in our state, and both candidates pointing out each other's faults at debates and in political ads.
It took Republican Pat McCrory 2 tries to become governor. He has had GOP majorities in both chambers of the General Assembly, but at times has been at odds with the legislature. More recently, though, he has championed controversial issues like House Bill 2. Meanwhile, Democrat Roy Cooper has spent the last 14 years as North Carolina's Attorney General, giving him the clout and name recognition to make a serious run at unseating the incumbent. So let's check out the numbers as they stand right now. 94% of the precincts reporting. Pat McCrory with 49% of the vote. Roy Cooper with 48% of the vote. This one a little too close to call at this moment.
Now, in New-Hanover County, we knew going into this election there would be at least one new member of the county commission.
That is because Commission Chair Beth Dawson could not finish in the top 3 in the March Republican primary. The 3 Republicans who beat her, including incumbent Woody White, and 3 Democrats, including incumbent Jonathan Barfield, battled it out for 3 open seats. We look at the current numbers, 72% of the precincts reporting. It is tight at the top. Woody White with 18%. He and Jonathan Barfield, the incumbents, with a very tight race. So this one way too early to call, but remember, 3 will get to take seats. The reaction on this race, for reaction on the race, we now go to the New-Hanover County Government Center where we find WWAY Weekend anchor Hannah Patrick. Hannah.
Daniel, we just got a pretty big update for this race. Earlier in the night, incumbents Jonathan Barfield and Woody White were holding their seats with Julia Bozeman in the 3rd seat. But now Woody White, Patricia Cusack, and Derek Hickey are now holding the top 3 spots. We are still waiting on a few precincts, but I spoke with Julia Bozeman earlier when she was in that number 3 spot, and she says win or lose, she's still happy to have the support she's gotten so far.
I'm excited for the votes that I have and the support that people have given me. It's an honor to have that many people put faith in you. Win or lose, it's really an incredible feeling.
Now, again, we are still waiting for about 4 of the precincts. We've gotten 37 out of the 43 so far. We'll be here live covering this race throughout the night, live online on Facebook and on Twitter. For now, live in New Hanover County, Hannah Patrick, WWAY News Channel 3.
All right, thank you, Hannah. Now, in New Hanover County, 6 candidates are looking to fill just 3 seats on the school board, with 72% of the precincts reporting. It looks like the Republicans are in the lead, as you can see there with Lisa, 19%. He stepped there. David Lee Worthman as well, 17%, and then Jeanette Nichols rounding it out at 17% for the New Hanover County School Board. As you can see, 72 precincts reporting, 72. Now, WWAY Taylor Yakowenko joins us now live with an update from the leaders in that race. Taylor.
Amanda, Lisa Estep, David Wortman, and Jeanette Nichols are all in the lead right now for the 3 available seats on the New Hanover County School Board. And tonight I spoke with 2 of those candidates about the campaign and their hopes if they are elected to the school board. Lisa Estep says she has been working very hard on special needs programs and the New Hanover County Career and Technical School.
I'm very, very excited about that. We just got the consultant on board, and I feel like that's going to move us in kind of a lightning speed in the direction of being able to start next fall.
Estep is currently in the lead, and in second place, David Wortman. This would be his first time serving on the New Hanover County School Board, and he says he wants to make the schools a better place for his young children and all the other kids they go to school with. He's hoping to bring a fresh perspective to the school board.
And I feel for several years there has really been a lacking of the parents' voice. You have several people that have been on the board for a long time, and I look forward to working with them. But they have to understand that I have children in the school system, and I'm speaking with the parents, and I'm speaking with about their issues.
Now, Jeanette Nichols rounds out the top 3, and she is also a Republican candidate. And I'm out here at the pub at Sweet and Savory, where a lot of the Republicans from New Hanover County and across the Cape Fear are watching the election results come in. And let me tell you, it has been a lively evening out here indeed. In Wilmington, Taylor Yakowenko, WWAY News Channel 3. Daniel, Amanda, back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Taylor. In addition to all 13 of North Carolina's seats in the U.S. House of Representatives, one of its 2 Senate seats was also up for grabs tonight.
A year ago, Republican Richard Burr seemed a virtual lock to win a 3rd term in the Senate with a huge campaign war chest. With national help, former state representative Deborah Ross made it not only a competitive race to watch, but a toss-up going into Election Day. Well, tonight, that is over. Incumbent Richard Burr has won the seat. Look at these numbers. 52% going to the incumbent Richard Burr, Deborah Ross at 45%.
To the House of Representatives we go. Republican David Rouser seeking a 2nd term representing most of southeastern North Carolina. And it is a done deal. He has officially won this race against Wesley Castine. So he gets his 2nd term in office with 60% of the vote. One small part of Bladen-County is the only part of our area not in the 7th district. Instead, redistricting moved it into the 9th district, which stretches west to Charlotte. As we look at these results, 95% of the precincts reporting it's a done deal here too. U.S. House District 9 goes to Robert Pittenger.
The race between Michael Lee and Andrew Barnhill for the North Carolina Senate has been closely contested. For more on this race, we are checking in right now with Kirsten Gutierrez, who joins us live from the New Hanover County Government Center. Kirsten.
After a long year of campaigning, with the way the precincts look now, Republican Senator Michael Lee will remain in office. Lee is up against Democratic candidate Andrew Barnhill tonight. Dozens of people came out to the government center to see the results. If things stay the way they are right now, Lee will win. The current senator says he's excited to see such positive results.
It feels great. You know, we've been working really hard toward not just the re-election, but also with the policy that we've been putting forth and representing New Hanover County. So it feels good to be re-elected and that we can continue some of the things that we started on. There's a lot of work left to be done, and I'm excited about doing it.
Senator Lee says the first thing he's going to do if officially reelected is to take a break. But right after that quick break, he plans to hold a special session to address the devastation following Hurricane Matthew. I spoke with his opponent, Andrew Barnhill, about if he was to lose. He says he will still continue to work across the aisle to create a positive image for North Carolina. In New Hanover County, Kirsten Gutierrez, WWAY News Channel 3.
All right, thank you, Kirsten. Time now for some expert analysis. Let's toss it over to WWAY News Director Kevin Wizzardo, who continues our team coverage. Hi, Kevin.
Thanks, Amanda. Huge election night, and we've brought in a couple of folks who have been very involved in politics around the Wilmington area for many years. From the left, former New Hanover County Commission and State Senate candidate Deb Butler, and from the right, former Wilmington City Councilman and New Hanover County Commissioner Jason Thompson. First, a little bit of breaking news. Looking at the live electoral map from ABC, they have projected that Donald Trump will win North Carolina tonight. The current tally, Hillary Clinton, the electoral lead at the moment, 190 to 187. Let me get your reaction on that, Jason. First of all, from the right, Donald Trump, the big winner in North Carolina.
Yeah, and it was a state that he had to have, a state that was a toss-up, and so, you know, it's looking good for my Republican Party right now.
Deb, what about you? I mean, this was a state that was really kind of looking like it was leaning toward Hillary Clinton in the end. This was not very close, about 5 points.
You know, it kind of goes to show you that the polls are all over the map. North Carolina, as we were coming into the home stretch, looked pretty strong for Hillary Clinton and for Deborah Ross. It's kind of disconcerting, actually, that the polls can be that far off. But the truth is, we've always known this was a swing state. And even though the push, the volunteers for the campaign, Hillary campaign, were combing New Hanover County and North Carolina, it just seemed to come up short.
Hillary Clinton up 197 to 187 on the latest tally. All right, let's talk closer to home here. The New Hanover County Commission, we all kind of were shocked when we heard the update from Hannah that all the Republicans have moved in, but Jason, that may not last very long.
Yeah, those Wilmington precincts will be strongly Democratic, and so while it looks good for the Republican candidates now, until Wilmington 24 and 28, 32 come in, you really can't call that one.
What do you think? How will this sway things if at least one or two more Democrats could get back up there in the lead?
Well, you know, the county commission in New Hanover County has been solidly Republican, as Jason knows, and you know, since at least 25 years. So the prospect of having 3 Democrats on that commission, while maybe not attainable this year, is certainly getting closer. I think Jonathan Barfield will likely do well in those inner city precincts, as will Julia Bozeman. So let's see what happens.
Probably 3 incumbents of some form, though Julia Bozeman has been on a while, may wind up in the end. Again, the big news right now, Donald Trump has been projected and declared the winner in North Carolina. Long way to go. We'll be back later with more analysis. Now back over to Amanda and Daniel.
All right, guys, thank you all. We'll see you in just a few. This is the place for election coverage. Much more still ahead tonight, including whether Wilmington voters want to pay for more parks and green space in the Port City.
And voters in Brunswick County decide whether to invest $152 million in schools. But first, more results. And just in case you missed any of those results, we have you covered online. You can find all the results on our website, WWAYTV3.com.
Meteorologist Scott Dean with your Storm Track 3 forecast.
All right, we start you off with a live look over the port city right now as we're looking at mostly clear skies across the area. We've had a few clouds at times, but overall it has been a fairly quiet evening out there. Temperatures have cooled down where it has cleared out temporarily into the low to mid 40s around Wilmington at the airport, 45 degrees. Other temperatures a little bit milder in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees. You can see the clouds coming in from the west. These have been high to mid-level clouds pushing across the area, but as we look up towards the Ohio Valley, that's where we see the surface front that's going to be pushing across the mountains into the Piedmont as we go through tomorrow. Looking at our pinpoint futurecast model, we'll start you off with the current time into the overnight into tomorrow morning. You see the clouds thickening up as we go through the morning hours, and it really looks like this front's not going to have a lot of moisture to work with. We may see a few sprinkles, maybe a brief spotty shower in a few locations, but really all we're going to see is clouds, and then we start to clear out as we go into Wednesday evening. And Thursday looks like a mostly sunny day, but it will be a cool day out there as those winds come out of the northwest. All right, as we take a look at tonight's forecast, we'll drop down a few more degrees under partly to at times mostly cloudy skies. And tomorrow, variably cloudy skies, at times cloudy. And there could be a few sprinkles, maybe a brief shower out there as temperatures warm up into the upper 60s. So as we look at this 7-day forecast, we'll see temperatures drop down into the low 60s. Veterans Day looks warmer, around 70, and then the coldest air of the season arrives Saturday and Sunday, highs in the 50s. We could see our first freeze by Sunday morning, guys. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Scott. Listen, guys, it wasn't just about the candidates in this election. Many voters in our area had some very important decisions to consider with specific questions on the ballot.
In Brunswick County, voters were asked to approve $152 million in bonds for the county's schools. Neighboring counties in past years have approved it. Let's see how Brunswick County has spoken. The voters talking about Brunswick school bonds. Right now, with 65% of the precincts reporting, Brunswick County School Bonds has support of 67% of the voters. Right now, it is looking towards it being approved.
A decade ago, voters in Wilmington and New Hanover County approved $35 million in bonds for parks and green space. This year, the city of Wilmington asked its voters to approve more than $30 million in bonds for more park space. As you can see, 63% voted yes for the Wilmington Parks bond, 37% voting no. That's with less than 80% of the precincts or people reporting there.
For the 5th time since 2010 and the 2nd time this year, voters in Bladen County were asked to support a quarter-penny sales tax hike. And a resounding answer of no from the voters. This is 100% reporting and 72% overwhelmingly saying no. We have more results to go in this special election night edition of WWAY News at 11. Still ahead, new faces on the Brunswick County Commission and School Board. We'll find out who they are.
And as Republicans try to maintain majorities in Raleigh, one area race for the General Assembly included criminal charges. But first, more results. And don't forget, you can find all of the results on our website, WWAYTV3.com.
Republicans took over both chambers of the North Carolina General Assembly in 2010.
Since then, they have certainly changed the way things are done in the Tar Heel State and expanded their majorities, holding most of the seats in southeastern North Carolina.
One of the seats in our area is open this year after Democrat Ken Waddell decided not to seek another term in House District 46, which covers Columbus and parts of Bladen and Robeson counties. The race to replace Waddell got ugly last month when Republican Brendan Jones and Democrat Tim Benton filed assault charges against each other. Jones said Benton sucker punched him at a public event a couple weekends ago over a political mailing, and then Benton denied he punched Jones but would not be bullied by the GOP. So let's look at how the numbers are playing out right now. This is North Carolina House District 46 with 98% of the precincts reporting Brendan Jones has 60% of the vote. And then in Pender County we go. Republican Chris Millis seeking his third term in House District 16, facing a challenge from Democrat Steve Unger of Surf City. This is a little early in the race, but as of right now, the incumbent Chris Millis has 73% of the vote for NC House District 16. Another rematch in Brunswick County, where Republican Frank Eiler went for his fourth full term in House District 17. He again had a challenge from former Brunswick County Commissioner Charles Warren, a one-time Republican who switched to Democrat. 66% of the vote as of right now going to Frank Eiler in NC House District 17. In northern Brunswick County and much of Wilmington make up the 18th House District, which Democrat Susie Hamilton has held for 3 terms. As of right now, she'll hold it for a fourth. NC House District 18 going to Susie Hamilton as of right now.
All right, to the state Senate we go, and the 9th district seat in New Hanover County. Incumbent Michael Lee and Democrat challenger Andrew Barnhill made this one of the most expensive state legislative races of the year. As you can see, Michael Lee, 58%, the incumbent, Andrew Barnhill at 42%, with 98% of the precincts reporting. As far as Democrat Jane Smith of Lumberton was looking for her second term in Senate District 13, which includes Columbus County. Danny Britt, well, she looks like 55% of the vote. He's taken that. He is winning with 100% reporting. Jane Smith only had 45% in that race. Much more to come on this election night.
Now, up next, more county level races, including new faces on the Brunswick County Commission and School Board.
But first, more results and a reminder, you can find all the vote counts on our website, WWAY-TV3.com.
Welcome back to our commercial-free election night coverage here on WWAY. I am joined by our expert analysts for the evening, Jason Thompson and Deb Butler. Deb, we'll start with you again. The big surprise we just saw, Scott Dean showed us, the New York Times now has Trump with a 95% chance to win. You're stunned by this development tonight.
I really am, honestly. I tell you the truth. You know, this national race has created a new low in my mind for what statesmanship is supposed to be. And I think that there are going to be an enormous swath of people in our nation, in our community, who really can't believe that this kind of behavior and this kind of parlance is tolerated from the leader of the free world, should he win tonight. And quite frankly, I think we're all going to have to dust ourselves off and figure out really what happened.
You can see that electoral map right there. Hillary Clinton up 197 to 187, but a lot of swing states still in play and Trump leading some. And Jason, what do you think about how this is shaken out tonight?
Well, I agree with some of what Deb had to say, but it could go for either candidate. I think both of them had a distasteful approach to how they were trying to win this race, and people, I think the mass majority of people said, you know, the media can have its bias, you know, Facebook and social media can have its bias, but we'll show up and vote, and at the end of the day, you're going to see that it's almost like a populist movement.
You know, the thing about that that's disconcerting to me, though, is that if you want to shake things up, if you just want to change the status quo, you got to have a plan when you do that. If you don't, you create instability, and that's what I fear the most, honestly.
All right, a long night still to go. You guys can stay for a while, I hope? All right, back over to Daniel in a minute.
I need some time to say something.
No.
All right, thanks, guys. We continue our commercial-free special election night edition of WWAY News Channel 3 at 11. In Brunswick County, there were 3 seats up for grabs on both the county commission and the school board.
All seats on both boards are held by Republicans, but with some incumbents not running again, there will definitely be some new leaders in the county. We start with County Commission and in District 3, where Pat Sykes ran for a second 4-year term against Democratic challenger William Flythe. As you can see, Pat Sykes with 65% of the vote, and that's with 65% of the precincts reporting. Now, current commission chair Scott Phillips decided not to run for re-election in District 5, opening the door for someone new. Mike Forte, a Republican, former Boiling Spring Lakes Commissioner Brenda Fay, McMillan, Democrat career social worker. As you can see, well, 64% of that vote going to Mike Forte, with 65% of the precincts reporting. And here in Brunswick County Commission District Seat 5, Republican Frank Williams looking for his second term, facing a challenger from Democrat Wesley Hickman. And as you can see, Frank Williams at 62%, Hickman 38%.
We already knew there'd be at least 2 new members of the Brunswick County School Board. Chairman Bud Thorson did not seek another term, and back in March, Ed Lemon held off 2 opponents in the Republican primary, winning the District 1 seat with no Democratic opponent today. There will also be a new member in District 4. Back in March, Ellen Milligan beat Shirley Babson in the Republican primary. Babson has served 24 years and 2 stints on the school board. Tonight, Milligan trying to hold off Democrat Marty Mentzer, who taught and coached in Brunswick County schools for 25 years before retiring last year. And 65% of the precincts reporting Ellen Milligan has a large lead, 63% of the vote so far. In District 2, Republican Catherine Cook seeking her 3rd term on the board, challenged by Democrat Sharon Woodard Crawford. Right now, it's looking like Catherine Cook has a strong chance of keeping her seat as the incumbent, 61% of the vote there. In Bladen County, and a 5-way race for the county-wide seat on the county commission, you are looking at 100% of the precincts reporting, and it will go to Michael Cogdell for the Bladen County Commission countywide.
The only other contested race for the County Commission was District 3. As you can see, Ashley Trevette with 54% of the vote, we're calling it, with 100% of the precincts reporting she has won the Bladen County Commission District 3 seat.
One of 3 school board seats contested in Bladen County tonight. Democrat incumbent Bunnell Walker trying to hold off Chris Clark. Well, Chris Clark, this one has been called Chris Clark, with 52% of the vote. In Pender County, 2 incumbents faced challenges for their seats on the county commission.
That includes the lone Democrat among the commissioners. Demetrius, as you can see, Keith was appointed to the board last year to finish out the term of Jimmy Tate, who moved out of the county. So Keith trying to win her first election tonight in her District 4 race against Republican Jacqueline Newton. As you can see, Newton has 66%, so we're calling it, as you can see, 100% of the precincts reporting Jacqueline Newton in that race for Pender County Commission District 4.
Incumbent Republican Fred McCoy looking for his 2nd term in District 5. It is looking like he'll get it, Fred McCoy, with 64% of the vote.
And in Columbus County, 1 of 4 commission seats races tonight. Democrat P. Edwin Russ trying to hold on to his District 4 seat against Jack Laverne Coleman. As you can see, 59% of the votes going to the incumbent, and he will continue to hold on to that seat.
1 of 2 races contested for Columbus County School Board, and that Randy Coleman against Norris E. Braun. Randy Coleman has won this one with 64% of the vote. It is about time to check back in on the big races of the night.
But first, some more results.
And as we take a look at your forecast at the bus stop tomorrow morning, temperatures will be in the upper 40s, some clouds around, not as chilly as it has been previous mornings where it was in the 30s. This morning we'll make it up to 69. Later Wednesday afternoon as front comes through, a brief afternoon shower can't be ruled out, but the bigger story will be the cooler temperatures on Thursday and then colder temperatures after Veterans Day with highs only in the 50s. We could have our first freeze by Sunday morning. Now back to you guys.
All right, as we wrap up this special election night edition of WWAY News, time to check back in on some of the biggest races of the night. We start with the vote for president. New numbers coming in as we look at those numbers.
All right, let's check it out. This is, of course, the votes in North Carolina. This one going to Donald Trump. We've talked about this earlier with our exports. So let's check out the Electoral College map as it stands. All right, this will update in 22 seconds, but right now Donald Trump has taken the lead with 222. This is the race to 270. So we will be in for a ride tonight as more votes come in.
All right, the highly contested race for governor. As you can see, Pat McCrory, 49%, Ward Cooper at 48%, 1% close, 99% of the precincts reporting for governor.
And then another big statewide race, Richard Burr said this would be his last election and he is going to play it out. This one's been called Richard Burr. The incumbent will keep his seat. Back over to our election night experts with WWAY News Director Kevin Wizzardo. Kevin.
Thanks, guys. Let's get right to it. Jason, good night for Republicans in North Carolina.
Yeah, we're winning across the board, and I think what you're going to see is a lot of the issues that were important to the media and important to special interest groups aren't important with the electorate at large, and Republicans are sweeping throughout the state. New-Hanover-County is always a strong Republican, so it's tough for Democrats here, but you see it playing out statewide too.
Obviously, HB2, one of the big hot button issues that got a lot of attention, but it doesn't look like Roy Cooper has been able to capitalize on that as much as we
Well,
thought.
I don't know. It's awfully close, so let's see what tomorrow morning brings. But I'll tell you what, he had the scare of his political life, I think, this round. And Roy Cooper is a fine gentleman. He would have served as a fine governor. And whoever is in that position is going to have a tough time governing as we move forward. We got to find out where we get that conciliation.
Well, looks like McCrory is going to have the House and Senate with him, so I don't think he'll have a hard time. It'll be all three branches, and they'll work together well.
Well, they haven't really worked together all that well the last couple of years.
You don't want them to work together all the time, but 90% of the time, if you don't want rubber stamping, it's a good process.
All right, Geb, you brought up a good point. Bringing together, no matter who wins the governor's race here, the presidency tonight, we have 50% of the electorate that is very upset.
I don't understand, honestly, where this divide began, and I don't exactly see how we fix it. But I think perhaps we put the majority leader and the minority leader in an apartment, don't let them out for a month until they figure out how to do the people's business. I don't know.
Jason, how do you bring everybody together after? You're somebody who was able to cross party lines as a lawmaker around here. How do you do this on a grand scale, though?
So you can't get caught up in the ideology and all the rhetoric of your party. I was called a rhino and all kinds of things. Big
that was
deal.
Just tonight.
Big deal. At the end of the day, just tonight. At the end of the day, it's about what position you believe in and getting votes to get that position a majority vote, and that's what it takes. And
it's statesmanship, Jason, and we have very little of it.
Got you guys off. Back over to Daniel and Amanda.
All right, thank you guys. It has been a busy and historic night, and it's not over yet. Some of the races are still being decided.
Coverage here on WWAY and ABC continues all night long. We should be hearing soon from Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and we will have the most up-to-date results and expert analysis starting at 5:30 tomorrow morning on Good Morning Carolina.
And of course, we have continually updated results and coverage on our website, WWAYTV3.com.
So stay tuned for more Your Voice, Your Vote Election Night 2016 coverage.